Welcome everybody to another tier list video, and in this one we are going to be ranking fantasy series by their title. Yes, in the last tier list video we did book titles. Now we're doing series titles. It was the most requested one, so I'm just going to go from there and we should have a good time with it. Let me know in the comment section down below what tier list you would like to see me do next. And no, I'm not going to let the quality of the book affect the ranking in any way, shape, or form. I guess the only aspect it could affect this is I'm also judging how well does the title reflect the story. Because, you know, sometimes it kind of gives you a good little hint, a good little draw in. But without any further ado, let's go over these title tier list rankings. So I made another custom one here. We have brilliant, pretty self-explanatory, good, self-explanatory, average, bad, and then we finally have generic name. And that's because I just don't think it's fair to really like try and value out like Chronicles of Narnia, for example. In fact, let's just go ahead and throw that in there because like it's the name of a place and I think it sounds fine, but I feel no like drive to put like Chronicles of Narnia in like average, good, or brilliant, but it's unfair to put it in bad. It's just, I don't know, it's reflective in a way, but anyway, I'm putting that there as just like a catch-all for things like that. But moving on, you guys get these. I don't need to waste your time anymore. Let's go ahead and jump into this latest tier list ranking video series titles. First up, we have First Law, or I guess second up, because we just did Chronicles of Narnia in the intro. But First Law is good. I don't think many people are going to argue with that. It establishes a tone, I think, pretty well, where we're going into a series that talks about morality and law and, you know, power a lot. So that's a good reflection. I'm not going to throw it up in brilliant, though. I do put a lot of First Law book names in the brilliant level, but for just right now, I'm just going to put the series title in good and kind of set the tone there, right? Because the first one you rank in this way really sets the tone. Moving on, we have Mistborn. Mistborn has a good factor to it. I think not the strongest, so I think it's gonna be pretty low in the good. But if I hear Mistborn, I go, what is a Mistborn? Why must they be born in mist? Obviously, you know, once you read the books, that changes, but I like this. I think it does have a nice little hook in for you as the reader. Moving on, we have the Cinder Spires series from Jim Butcher. I'm actually going to put that above Mistborn, just on the just on the sheer value of Cinder Spires, which to me has like an epicality to it, just something that feels grander. I think I'm going to put that above Mistborn. I'm just going to plop that in right there. Yeah, so far we have 3 goods, and I think we're going to have another one right now, because we're having Forgotten Realms. It's not brilliant. You know, I'm leaving that for a reserved few, but Forgotten Realms to me has a big appeal of like, what are these realms? Why are they forgotten? Where are they? I don't know. To me, this is like really, really rock solid. Yeah, do I want to put it above First Law? No, I'm not going to put it above First Law. I'm gonna leave Forgotten Realms just right there. I feel like that's pretty on par with First Law, though, I'm not going to lie. Again, want to put the note, not a reflection of the actual material of the books, just how I feel about these series titles. Moving on, we have A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm putting that in brilliant. I don't think many people will fight me on that. It has a generic quality to it, but it's like the best example of that kind of generic fantasy title, and I really like it. It does set up elements in the story a bit where you're going to have these conflicting forces, you know, Song of Ice and Fire. It works. I actually think not many people are going to argue with the fact that it belongs in brilliant. Codex Alera, maybe going to get my first real pushback here. I'm reading it right now, really enjoying the book, but the series title, meh. I'm going to leave it in average. I mean, you know, what's the most thing about it? Who is this Codex? What is Alera? I'm kidding. What? Moving on. I'm just moving on. The Iron Druid Chronicles. I'm starting these very soon, so I can't really speak on the reflection of in text, but I can't imagine much is brought through there. Definitely has a Dresden Files cadence to it and vibe to it a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in. Iron Druid. I'm gonna put it above that in average. High average for now with the caveat of I haven't read it. Maybe it's this amazing reflection. There's some brilliant twist where someone says the Iron Druid Chronicles and you're like, oh damn, the author told us with the title itself. You know, no. I'm just going to leave that in average. Inheritance Cycle. This is kind of like the best that like average typical fantasy can bring to the table. It's a bit generic. You can definitely tell it's fantasy by the name Inheritance Cycle. Like that just hits you in a way where you're like, that's a fantasy book. I'm going to put it high average. I don't think many people are going to fight me on that. Is it just low good? Inheritance Cycle. Yeah, I think out of context of reflecting the text, Inheritance Cycle is good. And I still maintain that Inheritance Cycle in quality is good. Average, but still. I'm going to put it low good. Low good. I'm being generous today. I'm feeling generous. I'm in a good mood. How are you? What's your mood like? I don't know. Moving on. Shades of Magic series. Okay. I got to differentiate in my mind. Like, Shades of Magic over here. The awesome covers over here. Not thinking about the covers. The covers are amazing. I love them, but I'm not thinking about that. Just thinking about the title. Where do I want to put Shades of Magic? I kind of want to put it Brilliant. I, for some reason, just love the name Shades of Magic. I've made it well known I don't love this series, but I love the name Shades of Magic, and then how it is reflected with each actual title of the books. And it ties into the lore, so I'm putting it in Brilliant. People are going to not be happy, I think, and you're welcome to, come burn down my apartment complex. But for me, it just ties into the text, it ties into the titles of the books, and it just flows well. It's very fantasy, it fully embraces the genre, and I like it. Now we have the Chronicles of Prydain, Preridane, I don't know. Generic name. I don't think many people are going to find me on that. I haven't read these. I'm going to put that copy on there as well. But I'm going to soon, and maybe I'll change them once I do. Maybe, again, there'll be that moment where someone will go, the and then we'll go, oh my god, it's in the title, but I don't think so. The Foundation Trilogy. So the Foundation Trilogy, that's an epic name right there, right? Foundation Trilogy sounds like it bops, and it's ballsy. I'm just going to say it. It's ballsy to name your series something so bold. What I don't like is then that every book title kind of is just another saying of the series title. That kind of annoys me. It's actually like a bit of a pet peeve. Like, I don't like that the Poppy War series has the first book that's called The Poppy War. That actually kind of just bothers me. But Foundation breaks from it enough where everything's kind of a restructuring of it, that I'm just going to ignore that for now. I also think that the Foundation is such an intense title. You're like, oh man, there's a major factor there, right? You're like, Foundation for what? What are we doing? That I'm going to go ahead and include it in Brilliant, especially for how well it's reflected in the themes and the meta text of what you actually read. All right, Book of the Ancestor. Wonderful name from one of my favorite currently working fantasy authors, Mark Lawrence. I'm going to probably just go ahead and put Book of the Ancestor pretty high and good. There's something about that title that does hearken to generic fantasy. No denying that. I don't think even the author would deny that. I think it's a full embracing of the genre. So I don't think it's like super high, totally like, oh, breaking away from fantasy generic tropes of titling, but it's damn good. And I think I'm going to put it just above Forgotten Realms. Book of the Ancestor kind of just feels good. Poppy War. Love these books. Don't love that the first book is just the name of the series now. Come up with a series name, please. That drives me crazy. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to average it out and just say it's an average, because for me, this kind of just gets ruined by that. It's a weird pet peeve, so I totally understand this probably won't reflect in your own tier list, but I just don't make the first book the title of the series. That drives me nuts. The Raguria Revelations. That's good. I think there's, it's hard to say like a fantasy series title is bad, because they're usually like, they have an epicality to them. That's not a word, but I'm going to use it. And they're usually thought put into them. So I feel like good's going to get crowded here, but I'm just going to lean into that. And Rhaeria Revelations, I'm going to put just above Inheritance Cycle. I like it. And also Rhaeria Revelations. You guys know I love alliteration, right? Like, a lot. Speaking of alliteration, Kingkiller Chronicles, definitely Brilliant. I actually need to reorganize Brilliant because I don't think this is the right order. Kingkiller Chronicles. I just love the way Kingkiller Chronicles flows off the tongue. I have, like, when I was reading the books, I would be like washing dishes and just be like, Kingkiller Chronicles. The Kingkiller Chronicles. Like, it just works in your mouth, makes your mouth feel good to say. So it also is definitely a reflection of the texts and tells you exactly the story you're getting into. It just works on all those levels. So I'm going to put that probably top of Brilliant. That's just credit to Rothfuss for doing everything he does like that. And I'm going to put Shades of Magic below Foundation and keep that like that. His Dark Materials. That's going to fly high for me. I love that title. Major vibes, because it's like, whose materials? Why are they dark? I want to know. So I'm going to put that above A Song of Ice and Fire. I think that it's just ignoring the text for a minute and saying yes on that surface value of just his dark materials. That's got some hooks, and then including the text and how it reflects what's happening in the story. It works. So it's going up there. Malazan. Book of the Fallen. It says, like, yes, this is Malazan. And now, oh, it's Book of the Fallen. Like, I like that. I enjoy that flow. I'm going to put it in the middle of good. Where am I going to drop it? Let's just see where it goes. No, I'm going to put it, yeah, I'm going to put it above Mistborn. I'm going to put it right above Forgotten Realms. That's where I'm leaving that for now. Yeah. No one's going to be mad at this tier list at all. No one. Farseer Trilogy. I just, for some reason, really don't like this name. I have not read these books yet. They're very high up on my TBR. Probably going to be reading them around the same time I'm doing Iron Druid. Maybe I'll get context for these, but for me, the Farseer Trilogy doesn't work for me. I don't know why, I just don't like it. And then Assassin's Apprentice, like, it have Assassin something. You have this theme, and then you just abandon it. You're like, okay, we're going to go with something else. I don't know. I don't like it. It's the first one going in bad. Not a reflection of the text. Do not take this as me reviewing it. I need to say that because for some reason, somehow, there's always that one commenter who's like, it's a great book, how could you? I'm talking about the aesthetics of a name, man. Moving on. I'm in a good mood today, so I'm being weird. All right, the Dresden Files. Definitely a very good, like, setup of, oh, this is a Case Files type series at first, and it's following the Wizard Dresden. I'm not going to put it super high, though, just because, well, it does reflect series. Well, no, I'm going to put it in good as well. I'm going to put it right above the Inheritance Cycle and below Rare Area Revelations. That's fair. But if I will go ahead and put the little asterisks here and say that if you actually go into Dresden Files like First Law, it's stronger in its names for individual books. I like what Jim Butcher does a lot, how he kind of has this continual, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, moving on. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Everyone knows what I'm saying. Lightbringer. I like it. Powerful, right? And it kind of tells you a little bit about, okay, you're getting in some stuff that involves light. And there's a religious figure, and for some reason, Lightbringer immediately for me struck as a label for like, oh, this is going to be that. So I think it has a really good vibe in that sense, and I'm going to put it as well in good. I'm actually don't want to put it above Malazan, Book of the Fallen, Lightbringer, Malazan, Book of the Fallen. I'm going to say they're pretty much tied. I'm just going to say these two are pretty much tied for me. I like them a lot, and I think they're good little mishmash right there on level with each other. Memory, Sorrow, Thorn. They're items within the books. They set up a tone pretty interestingly. There's some factor there of like, what memories? Who's sorrowful? Why is there a thorn in my side? I'm sorry, I'm in this mood. You guys are probably hating it. I'm going to say it's just the top of average. Memory, Sorrow, Thorn for me. No. If I put Inheritance Cycle up there, yeah, because it's better than Inheritance Cycle. Memory, Sorrow, Thorn, the Dresden Files. That's a weird thing to compare. I'm going to say these two are tied right there. I feel like those two, because they're such different factors, I can't figure out which ones I like more. This is a weird thing to do with my hand. Broken Earth, immediate factor, right? No one hears Broken Earth and doesn't immediately clench a little and go, what broke the earth? Okay, so for me, I'm going to plop this into Broken Earth, Lightbringer, Book of the Ancestor. It's not. I like Book of the Ancestor more, which I think might be a controversial opinion, but I really like that name. I'm gonna put it right above Lightbringer. I feel like that's fair. The Wheel of Time, very much so a title tied in with lore, which I like. It doesn't have like a flow off the tongue like Kingkiller Chronicles or anything like that. I'm not gonna put it in brilliant. There are a few Wheel of Time book titles, absolutely I put in brilliant, but in terms of like like a series title, The Wheel of Time, Lightbringer, Broken Earth. I think I'm just going to put it right here in this general area. These ones I'm having a really hard time actually solidly ranking which is better, from Broken Earth, from Book of the Ancestor down to Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Those ones are really neck and neck for me. I have a hard time there. The Stormlight Archive. Love this name. It definitely tells you, it sets the tone for grand fantasy like maybe few other series titles have, right? The Stormlight Archive lets you know this is an epic-ass fantasy series, only rivaled by maybe like Malazan, Book of the Fallen, in terms of like letting you know you're getting into epic fantasy. But I also think it just kind of hits harder than Malazan, Book of the Fallen. The Stormlight Archive, 3 words that just bam, bam, bam. No fat there. I don't know what I'm saying, but I know I'm right. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that. The Foundation Trilogy. The Stormlight Archive. Man, these 3. Song of Ice and Fire, the Stormlight Archive, and the Foundation Trilogy. I'm going to put it just above the Foundation and say it's probably kind of tied, but in terms of raw aesthetics, I like the Stormlight Archive a bit more. That's my final thoughts on the matter. Let me know how you would have this tier list planned out in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you have not already. And let me know what tier list I need to do next in those comments as well. Hit the Patreon for support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Peace. And of course, I'd like to record a special shout out to my latest high tier Patreon, Luke Boucher. Thank you so much, Luke. I appreciate it and hope you're having a wonderful start. Or no, it's middle of the week. I hope you're having a wonderful middle of your week. Have a good one, y'all. See ya.